May, in Dindori district, central India, is a hot, brooding month. The grazing cows roam stunned, baffled by the sun pouring down. During our journey to Michael village, we had to stop many times to stock ourselves with the food, medicine and water bags to last our 15 days in the jungle. A few hours were all spent smiling and shaking hands with the police commissioner, district collector and other bigwigs to gain access to film in the tribal belt here. We met Tok Singh and family working in the field at dusk. If we had seen them in the city, we would have taken them to be just another bunch of laborers come to try their luck at a building site. But we knew we were looking at people whose ancestors were the caretakers of the mythical city of iron, Loharipur, who knew the art of turning stone into iron, a technique that has now fallen into disuse. We set out with Tok Singh deep into the jungle in search of iron ore. I noticed that Tok Singh and family were responding very well to the camera. None of the first-time awkwardness in front of the lens. Part of my discomfort was due to the fact that I was making them do something they haven't done in ages. Or so I thought, until Tok Singh enlightened me. I've done this twice before, both the times for photo. It seems the ancient method of iron ore extraction has now become something exclusively done for the camera. The trek is long and hot. En route, Tok Singh told us that most Agaria poetry revolves around the iron. In one such, the iron pleads, "You dig me out of the earth, melt me, mold me, but do not bond with me, O Agaria, because I shall be the shovel that digs your grave."
लोहा हमारा सोना है। लोहा से सब काम होता है। बिना लोहा धरे कोई जंगल नहीं जा सकता, कोई खेत खार में नहीं जाता, ना कोई कहीं नहीं जा सकता। जब कुल्हाड़ी जाएगा तो जंगल धर के जाएगा, खेत में जाएगा तो एक हंसिया धरेगा, नांगर फांदेगा तो एक पैनारी में एक कर्रई तो ठुकाना पड़ेगा, तभी बैला रेंगेगा अंकुर। ऐसा प्रकार का लोहा तो सोना है।
The snaking forests of Mandla, rich in iron ore, is a landscape of trails which exist more in memory than in maps. We were 5 kilometers into the jungle when Tok Singh inspected the ground and revealed to us that this was indeed a good digging site. As he puts it, the Lord of Iron, Lohasur, who lives deep within the earth, sends his children for a walk in the open air, and it is them that I recognize. A bottle of local brew, maua, and a chicken is offered first to the gods and then shared among those present.
कोई बात का नानती नहीं आना चाहिए। इंगे बारह घाटी बंगाल की उनका दार्जिलिंग कला इंडियन कला है।
The men dig and fill the baskets with mud and stones, while the women sort and clean the ore, gathering what they can from the surface. The early evening light catches Tok Singh and family as they pound the earth and prepare the furnace. The older, more experienced women proceed to make the mouth of the furnace with wet mud and charcoal dust. The sound of the hammering will soon be replaced by the rhythmic roar of the bellows, a sound that has not been heard for a long time in the hills of Michael. According to Agaria mythology, their ancient city of Lohripur was shaped like a furnace paved with red-hot iron. And it is this molten iron that the Agaria ate to fill his belly. But the self-sufficiency of the Agaria enraged the Vedic gods, especially the god of food grain, Annadev, to whom no Agaria had yet come asking for food. The jealous god tricked the Agaria, and with the help of the sun god, destroyed their city of Lohripur. Since then, the pious act of melting the iron starts only after the sun has called back its last lingering rays. It must be completed before dawn breaks. The deep breathing of the bellows as they work under the untiring feet of the women sound like the life breath of an entire age. The primordial sound that links the Agaria to his place in the history of human evolution. The flames have turned a brilliant blue. The ore resting on a burning bed of coal now begins to feel the heat. It is time to welcome the virgin iron.
हाँ, पोजीशन अपन का पूरा बना ले लिया।
मत जो अरे ये पट्टी खदे रे बोलिए मत कोई भी
मत मार दे
तो कैसे टूट गई तो समझ ऐसे आए
ये नहीं ऐसे करना पड़ता है पकड़ निकाल
ये लो
The woman has given birth and the man has to care for it. The men of the household will beat this ball of iron into a beetle nut cutter, which Tok Singh's son will hold throughout his wedding ceremony tomorrow to ward off the jealous spirits. An Agaria wedding is not complete without the presence of this virgin iron.
5 किलो पत्थर लग गया, 15 किलो कोयला लगा, 8 घंटा मेरा दुखनी लगा, जिसमें हमको 1.5 किलो हमारा लोहा गिरा। हम इसको ये सोना मनाते हैं कि हम उसका एक मुंदरी बना लें कि एक अंगूठी बना लें, वो अमृत होती है, इसीलिए हमारा कुंवारी लोहा कहा जाता है।
It is the day of the wedding. Kar Singh is led outside in a procession for the ritual anointing and the bath. In the Agaria tradition, a young boy or girl crosses over into adulthood only after the traditional turmeric bath. Kar Singh symbolically bids farewell to his childhood as turmeric is smeared on him 7 times and he holds on to the virgin iron. Kar Singh is to marry his cousin Bimla. It's been 2 months since the betrothal, as Tok Singh's brother Hira Singh vividly remembers.
जैसे लड़का हो गया होग में उसकी हम शादी कर सकते हैं नहीं तो उसको है तो फिर उसके लिए लड़की खोजने जाते हैं समधी शोहर के पास हाँ तो जाकर हम 1-2 बोतल दारू रखे उसे नारियल रखा सुपारी रखा उनकी व्यवस्था और जाके है तो हम लोग फिर है तो अपने समधी है तो उसको फिर एजेंट कैसे पहुंच गए कि नहीं तो नहीं भाई ऐसे है कि तोर पास दिखते तना कि प्यासे से आए हैं हाँ प्यासे हैं हमें नहीं तो कैसे ना प्यास नहीं तो भाई हमारी ओक का लड़का है तो ऐसे ऐसे है समझी नहीं तो ले ऐसे करके वही दारू धरते हैं तो उसको फिर ऐसे देते हैं अगर उसके मन सही है ना ही गाँव महाल में दे रहे हो पहली आदत तो देता हूँ कि नहीं देता हूँ नहीं ऐसे टरका देते हैं कभी जाने में और सही अगर बात बन गया हवा तो गया बन जाएगा तो ले भाई अब बन गए तो फिर वो दारू पी लेगी
The wedding procession sets out towards Daldal Tapoti, the bride's village. To our surprise, it heads straight for the nearby jungle instead of the bride's house. The previous night's drinking and dancing has taken its toll on Tok Singh, who is roaming around in the woods with a throbbing head, preparing to make black tea. I noticed that the wedding party has come with a few kilograms of rice and pulses. Are they preparing for a long stay here after the wedding? Meanwhile, there is no sign of any ceremony from Bimla's house. On the day of the wedding, her father seems to have absconded. We hear he's been taken away to the city, herded by some political party workers, to be a part of the thousands who will greet their leader. In return, he will be given a day's meal and 50 rupees. So we wait for Daddy to return and some action to happen. It is only then come to know that it is the usual practice for the groom to spend a few nights waiting outside until the bride's family consents to invite them in. Tok Singh himself had to spend 5 nights in the jungle before he got married.
मड़वा काट के प्लान ही
हाँ
सिंह, आपकी शादी कैसे हुआ था? ऐसे ही हुआ था?
हाँ ऐसे ही हुआ था भाई।
बताइए।
बस ऐसी
भाई
बात
अब यही तो हमारा माँ बाप करते करते हमारा दिन व्यतीत होते चले गए भाई। जैसे हमारा बाप किया तो वैसे लड़कन के भी हम कर रहे हैं।
हमारा यही रास्ता
से हमारा हो रहे हैं। हाँ
तो एक शादी करने के लिए कितना दिन लगता है?
8 रोज लग जाता है भाई पक्का।
कैसे
दूर पड़ गए
दूर पड़ गए तो 8 रोज 10 रोज तक लग जाती है। हाँ शादी रचना बड़ा कठिन होता है।
तब
ये अपन हो गए हम साल 2 साल कमा लेते हैं तो शादी करते हैं।
The wait makes me impatient because after a while there is nothing to do and I feel I'm wasting quality filming time relaxing in the jungle. Tok Singh and family are of course quite oblivious to my angst and seem to be wrapped in a sense of timelessness that my urban mind can't quite comprehend. Kar Singh patiently waits for his bride, listening to the popular Hindi film song, Say You Love Me. Here, the girl's family seems to be calling the shots, unlike in mainstream Hindu culture, where the boy's family is treated like royalty and pampered no end. I quite like the way the tables have been turned here and the roles reversed. Finally, at the end of 3 days, the father of the bride has returned and the preparations are on for the wedding.
रात कर द्वार फिर रात अब नारियल लगा दिया जल्दी आओ ना जल्दी फटाफट करिए ज्यादा लेट से करो भाई अब चलो बरतिया बैठ सामने रहो
The subconscious dread of a new metal either induces man to impose a taboo on it or, contrastingly, attribute a sacredness to it. For an Agaria, iron is magic. But not all iron is endowed with equal magic. It is only the virgin iron, extracted from a new pit, smelted in a virgin furnace, and crafted in a new smithy, that has extraordinary powers to ward off the evil spirits. He hammers a nail on the rice pounder to ensure prosperity and abundance. If you think iron is nothing, look out of your houses and see it wandering all over the 3 worlds, says Tok Singh. He drives a nail into the cot to protect the sleeper from getting bad dreams.
चुकवा देता ना तो थोड़ी थोड़ी ना
ये रे 12 भाटी बंगाल फुटबॉल
But the Agaria are fast losing their umbilical connection with iron. No one kindles the virgin fire anymore. No more is virgin iron extracted. Tok Singh is afraid there may come a time when none in his race will drive the all-protective iron nail into the threshold of his house or bind the thunder-scaring anklet around the feet of his children.
4-5 बार तक गिराया हूँ तुम्हारी लोहा फोटो के लिए जब आते हो जब हम गिराते हैं नहीं तो अपना कमाई से नहीं गिराते उसी की कमाई में हमको घाटा है इसलिए नहीं करते खरीदी लोहा ला करके अपना है तो हंसिया टंगिया बना करके गुजारा अपन करते हैं
He now stands stripped of all his powers to make magical iron. He who heralded the Iron Age is compelled to retire. The modern industries that his knowledge helped found have taken over. Tok Singh now travels 15 kilometers into the local town to purchase factory-made iron.
लोहा कैसे किलो है हाँ
किलो 2 किलो 400 है
48 ठीक से तो बोल देखे 20 रुपये से नहीं पड़ेगा 20 रुपये किलो से ना पड़ेगा
हाँ है तो फिर इतना सी कमी नहीं करोगे
The import of cheaper English iron, the taxation imposed by the government on firewood, and the depleting raw materials have all contributed to the decay of the iron smelting industry in Mandla. Now the Agaria cannot afford to build furnaces. They manage with small forges.
वही से छोड़ दिया है हम कि उसमें हमको गुंजाइश नहीं आ 2-4 आदमी काम करें किलो आधा किलो अगर कोयला पथरा करने से अगर आधा किलो अगर लोहा हमारे पास प्राप्त हुई तो हमको कोई मुनाफा नहीं मिलता 4 आना बांट नहीं मिल सके 2-3-4 आदमी तो काम में लगता कोई झुकने फुकने लगता है कोई कोयला लाएगा कोई पत्थर का फोड़ेगा कोई पत्थर डालेगा कोई कोयला डालेगा कोई झुकने चलाएगा तो भाई के वही ग्रुप में 2-2 रुपये बस वही काम है बिना 3-4 आदमी के तो वो हमारा भट्टी चला ही नहीं
Today, only Tok Singh and his brother Hira Singh know the art of making virgin iron. Their children are not familiar with this technique. For centuries, the Agaria have taken pride in the fact that they are the makers of iron, not mere craftsmen. Now, Tok Singh is reduced to being an ironsmith because it is only as an ironsmith that he can retain his fast disappearing link with iron.
लड़ाई चाहे आगे के साथ में हमारा, आगे के साथ में तो हमारा जीव नहीं है, पल नहीं है, तो उसको हम नहीं डरते। काश भी लोहा भी छिटकेगा, कुछ भी होगा, अगर हमको घना चलाना जरूरी है वहाँ, और उसको डर के भागेंगे तो कौन पीटेगा। इसलिए हमारे ऊपर आगे भी छिटकेगा तो भी हमको वहाँ चलाना ही पड़ेगा। जल भी जाएगा हमारा पैर, वो जल गया करके, और उसके बाद भी दोबारा हमको घना मारना ही पड़ेगा। हाँ, तब तो बनेगा। ऐसा हमारा काम है।
Tok Singh remembers a time when visitors used to flock the smithy with tools to repair or agricultural implements to buy. Now, whether it is a sickle or an exotic lamp, the Agaria roams from village to village to sell his wares. Being more malleable and less prone to rusting, the iron made by him was valued over factory-made iron.
इनका का कीमत कहेगा
हीरा
40 में
नहीं भैया 50 से नहीं
50 में फक्स भाव। हाँ,
बताओ कितना मत दे दो कहता
5 रुपया और देव 20 दे।
With the link with iron becoming more and more fragile, his connection with the world of the tribal supernatural is slowly dissolving. Every Friday at dusk, Tok Singh sings invoking the Hindu god Ram in a nearby temple. One senses a soft agony in his voice, reflecting the tragedy inherent in a society trying to integrate, change, evolve, but in the process losing much of its cultural ethos. Death is a part of the cycle of life, and the Agaria respects death and its eventuality. It is the 10th day after Tok Singh's mother's soul departed her body. The drummer arrives first to announce the Dashgatra.
ना, परसों नहीं आया। हाँ तो हम तो वहाँ लगाए जाएंगे जुगाड़। हाँ तो दे देंगे।
Tok Singh's sisters are yet to arrive from their distant villages. The air is silent with unspoken grief.
ऐसे बात बता रहे हैं ना, आप कहा बताओ, जादू टोना वाले हिंद दुनिया ला बिगाड़ने वाले तो सेना के रोक दे तो आप इनका बधाई का हो गए काले करे हो बधाई
It is now time to move into the fields where her body was burnt.
तो गया से गया भाई।
The Agaria numbs himself in a haze of smoke and moa. The funeral chant rises and drifts towards the riverside. From the beginning of time, man has instinctively sensed the presence of the other. In the face of death, his sensibility to this non-manifest world is heightened. The journey into the other world is in fact a journey inwards. The Agaria believes that the soul will depart from the body only when it has bid farewell in an ambience of joy and merriment. But there is no turning back from the inevitability of death. The Agaria does not seek consolation by looking forward to a blissful rebirth. Renewal is here and now, in this world, in the fresh scent of the jungle flower, in the adolescence of his children. Just as the vast sky with the moon can be seen in a tiny drop of water, the life cycle of the Agaria is best reflected at this moment when death finds its fullest expression. Here, it is not grief that dominates, but a sense of joy and fulfillment at this release from the circle of life. As the body moves in a rhythm controlled by the cosmos, the soul of the Agaria gains entry into the other world. Perhaps the mythical city of Loharipur, where the streets still glow with molten iron.